screen is visible. Whether the screen is visible or not. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Nirbhay. So let us start with the problem. I hope the font size is fine, no problem. Now, a die is thrown something sometimes, and a throw of 2 or 4 is observed two thousand 840 times. 2840 times. That the die are this. Check whether the die can be considered as an unbiased die. And find the probability of a throw of 2 or 4 likes. This is the question. Please understand, read the question and understand it carefully. Ready? Then we will start solving this problem. Okay. So it is basically, and all of you, please keep your statistical tables on the screen. Be ready with the statistical tables and calculators. Okay. Now, can anyone tell what about this one actually? Whether it is a problem related to the proportions or problem related to the probabilities, where it, probabilities, what is given in the data? What is given in the problem. So basically, we have a die, okay, fine. And how many times it has been thrown? 8,000 times it has been thrown. Okay. And a throw of either 2 or 4 is observed in these many times, 2,840 times. Check whether the die can be regarded as an unbiased die or not. Okay. Now, here problem of related to the proportions. Okay. So then what is the population here and what is the sample here? What is the population here and what is the sample? Consider this as a population where we do not know the population. We do not know what is the size of the population. But what we know, this population generally consisting of here generally consists of throwing a die. Okay. Okay. Now, out of which the outcomes, it can be from 1 to 6. Now, what is the probability of getting either 2 or 4? What is the probability of getting either 2 or 4? So, the probability of getting either 2 or 4 is basically equal to what? 1 third, right? 2 upon 6, that is nothing but 1 third. Okay. So this is nothing but the population mean. Population mean is population proportion. The proportion for the population should be in this ratio 1 upon 3, right? Now, so this is rather than saying it is in terms of the mu, basically it is what? It is the population proportion. So let me represent it with the capital. Okay. Now the capital P is 1 by 3. Obviously, capital Q is nothing but 1 minus P, so that is 2 by 3. Now, what is the sample here? There we have a sample. The sample size we know it is 8,000 times. We have observed 8,000 times. We have observed the outcomes when a die thrown 8,000 times. Now, for this sample, what is the proportion that we have obtained here? So, sample proportion. Sample proportion, small p is 2840 upon 8,000. Now, what is the value? Or don't worry, keep it as it is. Okay, keep it as it is. That is, here, what is this capital P? Capital P or the small p represents, the capital P or small p represents the number of times the number of successful events. What is the successful event here? It is actually the Bernoulli trial problems. Okay. What is the successful event here? Obtaining either 2 or 4. That is a successful. Okay. So small p is also there and capital P is also there. Capital P is always 1. Now, what it is asked for? Okay. Check whether the die can be regarded as an unbiased die or not. which means unbiased die means suppose when the die is thrown, suppose if the probability of getting a number is more than, generally all the probability of getting each and every number from 1 to 6 is same, then we can say that the die is not biased. The die is not biased. Rather than suppose if you take some another die where the probability of getting a particular number, say 2, is more than the probability of getting the other numbers, then we can say that the die is biased towards the number 2. Why? Because the probability of getting 2 is not same as the probability of getting other numbers. All the elementary events do not have same frequency, the same probability. Okay. So now what we have to check? We need to check the difference between the proportions. The difference between the proportions, that is the sample proportion and the population proportion. Okay, that is what we need to observe. Okay. Now the question is, other than this data, nothing is given. No level of significance, nothing is given. Okay. So let us proceed. So we need to decide whether the die can be regarded as an unbiased die or not. What we need to check? We need to check the difference between the sample proportion and population proportion. That is capital P, sample proportion is small p. To decide whether the given die, the particular die is an unbiased die or not, we need to check the difference in the, we need to find out whether the difference between the sample proportion and the population proportion, whether it is significant or not. If there is a significant difference is there, we can say that the die is unbiased. The die is biased. If there is no significant difference, we can say that the die is unbiased. Okay. Why? Because it depends on the sample. It depends on the samples, the 8,000 times that we have taken. Okay. So there might be a fluctuation, fluctuations because of the sample that has been considered. Okay. Okay. Right. Now, to decide this one, we need to find out what is something called. We need to decide what is something called null hypothesis H0, alternate hypothesis H1. As it is discussed earlier, H0 always assumes that there is no significant difference between the statistics. That is, it assumes small p is equal to capital P. Small p is equal to capital P. It does not mean that it exactly the null hypothesis does not say it is exactly equal. It should be interpreted in this manner. No significant difference. No significant difference between small p and capital P. Obviously, what is alternate hypothesis? Alternate hypothesis is against the null hypothesis. So that is, it says that P is not equal to capital P. That is, again, I am telling, suppose if small p is not equal to capital P, it does not mean that numerically. Okay. Here, suppose if small p value is 0.345 and if the capital P value is 0.346, mathematically, if numerically these two are not equal, but they are almost equal, same only, right? So we need to find out the difference, 0.001, whether this difference is significant or not. Who will decide the significance? That depends on the level of significance. Okay. So here H1 says Yes, there is a significant difference. There is a significant difference between small p and capital P. Okay, right. So H0 we have defined, H1 also we have defined. Now the next thing is we need to see what is the test statistic. Here small p is equal to capital P, which means that no significant difference between the sample proportion and the population proportion, which means it is equal to say that the dye is not biased. There is a significant difference, which is equivalent to say that the dye is biased. Okay. Now, the next thing we need to find out what is test statistic. So what is the test statistic? Test statistic Z is the difference between the sample proportion and the population proportion, that is P minus capital P upon the standard error of the difference between the population proportion and the sample proportion. What it is? Yesterday we have seen, right? See, the sample proportion and the population proportion, the difference. Here it is the capital. So now what is N here? N is the sample size. What is the sample size? 8,000. Okay. So that is, here it is, square root of capital P times 1 minus capital P upon N. Okay. Right. So what it is given, it is known that it follows the standard normal distribution. Why? Because since n is large, central limit theorem says for n large, the test status P minus capital P upon the standard error of the difference between the proportions follows the standard normal distribution. Okay. Okay, right. Now, so let us evaluate what is this one. So Z is equal to small p is how much? So now this is the time where you need to evaluate yeah. So small p is what? Small p value is what? 2840 upon 8,000. 2840 upon 8,000 minus capital P is 1 by 3 upon capital P is 1 by 3. So first thing 1 upon N, N is sample size 8,000 times capital P is 1 by 3 times 1 minus P means 2 by 3. You find out this entire value and tell me what it is. Give me the final value. Calculate and give me the final value. Four point 11096. Okay. 4.11096. 096. Okay. So this is the value. So the calculated value is capital Z is equal to 4.11096. Okay. Now, depending on this value, we need to decide, we need to accept the hypothesis, null hypothesis, or we need to reject the null hypothesis. That is, we have to check. Okay. So at this point, you see this one. Actually, it is a in between the problem I'm giving input, but you can remember it is for all the corresponding problems also. So note, if the mod Z value is bigger than 3, then reject H0. It is always true. If mod Z value, whatever the test statistical value, mod Z value is bigger than 3, then reject H0. You may ask why. You may ask why. Okay. So for that reason, so I will ask you to look at this value. Probability of mod Z is bigger than 3. That is equal to probability of, or that is equal to 1 minus probability of mod Z less than or equal to 3, right? So that is equal to 1 minus 2 times probability of 0 is less than Z is less than 3. That is equal to 1 minus 2 times from the statistical table, standard normal table. Can you give me what is this value? And can you give me the final output? Can you give me the final value? First, get this value from the statistical table, substitute here, simplify, calculate this value, and give me the final value. 0.4987. No, okay, that might be the statistical value, 0.4987. Now simplify it and give me the 0.0026. 0.0026. It seems to be only one guy is working on the other end. Why there is no response from the other guys? Okay. Now you see this one, 0.0026. How small it is? How small it is? It is not even a 1%. Generally, we used to say, right, alpha belongs to 0, 1. Probability of mod Z is bigger than 1. See how small it is. Okay. So because of this reason, we'll directly consider whenever if the statistical value is bigger than 3, then we are going to reject the H0. Okay. So since here this is bigger than 3, the value is bigger than 3. Since mod Z is equal to 4.11096, which is strictly bigger than 3, implies we reject H0. That is, we conclude that the die is biased. Rejecting H0. Rejecting H0 means obviously it is accepting the H1. Okay, accepting the H1 means the die is biased. Okay. Now the question comes, then if die is biased, if the die is biased, then what is the probability of either 2 or 4? The die is biased, then definitely we cannot say that the probability of either getting either 2 or 4 is 1/3. We cannot say this one, particularly for this die. So whatever the regular problems that we have seen, maybe or we have seen in your earlier studies, the probability of getting either 2 or 4 is 1/3. So there we have considered an unbiased die. But here we have already concluded that the die is biased, and hence we cannot say that the probability of either 2 or 4, getting either 2 or 4, we cannot say that it is 1/3. So it will have some other probability, maybe less or maybe more, but definitely it is not 1/3. Okay. Now this is what we need to find. So that is it is also asked in the problem, and find the limits between which the probability of a throw of 2 or 4 lies. So we need to give some, so on the scale of 0 to 1, on the scale of 0 to 1, so definitely this is the 1/3. The probability of getting to either 2 or 4 is not 1/3, but we need to give something, maybe a range, the limits. We can say that the probability of getting either 2 or 4 lies between these two limits. That is what we need to evaluate. And what is this limit and how to evaluate this? How to evaluate this one? Okay. So that too. Now how to get this one? How to get this one? What is actually this one? It is actually nothing but the capital P. It is actually nothing but the capital P. So how to get the limits of the capital P? So basically now we are in a situation where we have to estimate the population proportion. Where we have to estimate the population proportion, right? Based on what? Based on some given data. So what is the data it is given to us? It is the data given from the small, it is the data given from the random sample. So from the random sample proportion, we need to estimate the population proportion. Okay. So that is the population proportion can be the limits of the population proportion can be taken as say this is P prime plus or minus 3 times the standard deviation, the standard error between the difference. That is P prime times 1 minus P prime upon N. This is what? This is the standard error, and this is the critical value. Okay. So now what about this P prime? P prime means the population proportion, right? So that is not known to us. So the P prime can be approximated. P prime can be taken as from the population, from the sample. So that is 2840 upon 8000. So what is this value? 2840 upon 8000. So that is something around 0.355. Okay. Therefore, so that is equal to 0.355 plus or minus 3 times square root of 1 upon 8000 times capital P prime. So that is 0.355 times 0.645. So that is equal to, what are the values? What are the values? Give me these two values. Can you give me the values? That is 0.355 plus or minus 0.00768. Okay. So these are the limits. So generally it is 0.355 means, suppose this is 0 and this is 1, and if this is 1 by 3, 1 by 3 is approximately 0.3333 and so on and so on. So for this, with this die, the probability of getting either 2 or 4 lies between 0.355 plus 0.00768, or even it can be taken as 0.355 plus or minus 0.0077. You can take it like this, or something around 0.3627, and on the other side 0. So what is the, if you subtract that one, then what you will get? 0.355 minus 0.0077. So that is 0.3473. Okay, 0.3473 will be here. Okay, not here. This one 0.3473. So it is 0.355 will be here, right? So this is 0.355. Now you may have a question, why this is the limit? Why these are the limits? Why we have taken these are the limits for the new probabilities? Because as I said in the note, that whenever the calculated value z, the mod z value is bigger than 3, then we are rejecting what? H naught. Now we should give the probabilities for the population proportion, so that we should accept it at least some level of significance. When mod z is equal to mod z is bigger than 3 means it is rejected at all the level of significance, for any level of significance. Okay. So for accepting, we should have the mod z value should be less than 3. For accepting, for some at some level of significance. At some level of significance. Forget the level of significance may be less, but to accept it, we must have mod z value should be less than 3. So mod z value means the modulus of small p minus capital P upon the standard error, capital P times 1 minus capital P upon capital P times 1 minus capital P upon n is less than 3. Now you when you expand it, what we will get? Small p we know, sample proportion we already know. What we want to estimate? We want to estimate this one, right? Estimate the values for the population proportion for the die. Okay. So to estimate this one, you expand the modulus, then what you will get? Then you will get capital P is less than small p plus 3 times the square root of capital P times 1 minus p upon n, and it is bigger than small p minus 3 times capital P minus 1 minus p upon n. Okay. So these are the limits. Now here also the same question comes, but on this side we have capital P. So this capital P is approximated with the small p, that is 2840 upon 8. Okay. So it is actually nothing but, if you remember, what is this one called? This is the standard error. So the approximation of the standard error will be done using the sample proportions. This is the standard error, right? So the approximation of the standard error will be done using the standard error from the sample. Okay, so this is the reason we can take the new limits for the die as p prime plus or minus 3 root of p prime minus times 1 minus p prime upon n. Okay. So here also, that is what here it is explained here. Okay. Okay. So Ram Prasad is saying the values are different. Okay, but you understand the process first thing. There may be some calculation mistakes is there. I am not evaluating on myself now. Whatever the replies I'm getting from the chat box, I am only rewriting here. That's all. Okay. So there might be some calculation mistakes, but you understand the technique. Okay. So now in this problem, if you have do you have any doubts, or shall we go for the another problem? Do you have any doubts? Anyone? Or else we'll go for the another problem. Oh, correct. So we'll go for another problem.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, these limits values are found for the biased dice or the unbiased die?
Of course, the biased day, not for the unbiased. If it is unbiased, then the limit is 1 by, then the probability is 1 by 3, na? Proportion is 1 by 3, na?
Oh, yeah, okay, okay, sir.
Yeah. So now let us hit another problem. Example 2, random sample of 5 items from a large consignment of 500 items taken from a large consignment and you are found to be defective. Obtain the 98% confidence limits for the percentage of bad items or products, whatever it is, in the consignment. Read the question carefully and we will try to solve. First thing, a random sample of 500 items taken from a large consignment. What is the okay, large consignment? Okay, and 60 were found to be defective out of this 500. Clear. Only the information is given only about the sample, but not about the population. What is the population? Population is a large consignment. Okay. How many items are there in the large consignment? Not given. How many are defective? Not given. Okay. What we need to, that is what actually we need to obtain. Obtain the 98% confidence limits for the percentage of bad items in the consignment. Okay. So that is, roughly speaking, we do not know what is the size, what is the size of the consignment. Let me not write n generally used for the sample size, right? So the size of the population is not known. Population how much? No, no. Okay. So, but what we know, a sample of size n is equal to 500 is taken, and out of which, how many are the successful events? How many successful trials have been done? Successful trials are there 60. What is the success here? Success means defective item. The item is a defective. Defective items means it is a success according to the problem, right? So the small p is given to us to be 60 upon 500. 60 upon 500. What it is? 0, 0, 60 or so okay, 0.1 and then 1002, 0.12, right? So the proportion of the proportion in the sample proportion is given to us 0.12. Okay, fine. Now what it is asked was obtain a 98% confidence limits for the percentage of bad items in the consignment. So based on this one, generally, if someone asks what is the percentage of bad items in the sample here, the number of defective items, total number of items into 100, 5 times 12. So that is what we can say. In this sample, 12% of items are defective. That is what 0.12. Okay. Now, what it is asked, what is the percentage? It is not asked what is the percentage of the popular defective items or the bad items in the consignment. If someone asks what is the exact percentage, we cannot say, because the reason for this sample we may be getting 12%, but maybe for other sample we may be getting maybe 30% of bad items. Okay, so there is always something called some confidence is missing there. Okay, but we should able to say yes with 98% confidence that we should be able to say that the percentage of the bad items in the population lies between two limits. What is this one? What is this one? What we need to avoid. For this one, basically we are not testing the hypothesis. Here in the previous problem, we have tested the hypothesis. What is the testing of hypothesis is done and confidence interval is also obtained. What is the confidence interval? Confidence interval is nothing but the limits that we have obtained. Okay. So, but in this problem, there is no testing of hypothesis. Read the question, whether is there anything that we have to test the hypothesis? Nothing. Information is given. Now we have to obtain the confidence limits for the population proportion or the percentage of the bad items in the population. Okay. 98%. 98% means what is alpha? 0.02. Right? What is alpha value? 0.02. Okay. So the level of significance 0.02 means level of significance is alpha is equal to level of significance is 2%. Okay, right. So now let capital P be the proportion of bad items in the large consignment. Proportion of bad items in the large consignment. Proportion of bad defective items in the large consignment. Okay, right. And small p be the proportion of bad items or defective items in the sample. That is small p is equal to 60 upon 500, that is 0.12. Okay. Now, what it is asked, we need to find out the difference between the small p and capital P upon the standard error. But the standard error is given to be capital in terms of capital P, right? So that is not known. So obviously we need to approximate it. So that is here capital small p times 1 minus p upon n. So this is nothing but the test statistic. This is nothing but the test statistic. Okay. So what we want to find the capital limits of the capital P such that the probability of the probability of mod z value is bigger than z alpha is equal to alpha. Z alpha is equal to alpha. This is what we need to evaluate actually, right? This is what we need to evaluate. Okay. Now, you see it here, whether it is a two-tailed, whether we have to find out the two-tailed confidence interval or one-sided confidence interval or two-sided confidence interval. Why? Because no additional information is given. The population proportion, the percentage of defective items in the population may be less than this one or maybe bigger than this one, right? Both the sides is possible. Both the sides are possible. Okay. Suppose in addition, if it is given the population and the percentage of the defective items in the consignment is bigger than the is more than the percentage of defective items in this sample, then we need to evaluate only one-sided confidence interval. Why? Because some additional information is given to us in that case. But here, no additional information is given to us, and hence we have to find out the two-sided confidence interval. And hence it is a two-tailed test. Okay. So now this is what we need to evaluate. So, and hence, yeah. Yeah, that's all. Now everything is there. So you simply substitute what is this one. So small p. So if you expand this one, what you will get, which is also same as equivalent to, which is also same as probability of mod z less than or equal to z alpha is same as 1 minus alpha, right? So 1 minus alpha means we will get 98%. Alpha is equal to 0.02, right? So we will get alpha is equal to 0.02. So 1 minus alpha is equal to 0.98. 0.98 means 98% confidence interval. That is what we will get it. So what actually the condition, mod z should be less than z alpha. What is z alpha? This one we need to see it from the statistical table. What is mod z? Test static is given to here. So that is small p minus capital P upon standard error, small p times 1 minus p upon n mod z is less than or equal to. Can you give me the z alpha value? Can you give me the z alpha value? What is the z alpha value for two-tailed test in the standard normal distribution? How to evaluate for 98%? How to evaluate for the 98%? So probability of mod z is less than or equal to z alpha means 0.98. So this is same as probability of 0 is less than z is less than z alpha is equal to 0.49. 0.49. So for what z alpha, we will get the statistical table. The statistical table value gives the 0.49. 2.405. No. Is it true? Is it true? The value. 0.49. 0.49. 0.49. Anyone else? 2.325. No? Please see the table carefully. 0.49 you should get. And where, what is that? What value that you are getting 0.29, 0.49? 2.328. Okay, I think nearby might be using some another calculator, but yeah, that is the actual thing. But from the table in the generally, yeah, nearby you are absolutely fine. But in the during the examination, only the table will be given. The list of table will be given. So from the table we can get the value is Z alpha value is actually 2.33. Even if you expect approximate that 2.328 to 2 digits, you will get 2.33. Okay, Harvey? Okay, so that is 2.33. This is the Z alpha value from the calculator. So here now the capital P is less than or equal to small p plus or minus plus 2.33 times square root of small p times 1 minus p upon n, and it is bigger than or equal to small p minus 2.33 times square root of small p times 1 minus small p n. Right? So the capital P is less than or equal to, this value is already known, 0.12, the sample proportion, plus 2.33 times 1 upon sample size is 500 and 0.12 and 0.88, and is bigger than or equal to 0.12 minus 2.33 times square root of 1 upon 500 times 0.12 times 0.88. Okay. So what you can say, the population proportion, so the percentage of the defective items in the large consignment belongs to this interval, with what level of confidence we can say it? With 98% level of confidence we can say. We are not saying that is 100%. Why? Because there may be a fluctuation in the given data. There may be a fluctuation. The given data may not be exact and accurate. That depends on the random sample. If you come up with some another random sample, we may end up with some another interval, right? So that is the reason generally you won't say with the 100% confidence. We will say that mostly with 98% of level of confidence, we can say that the percentage of the defective items in the large consignment belongs to this proportion, this interval. Okay. Do you have any doubts, or shall we go for one more problem? If you have any problem, if you have any doubts, you ask me right now. Any doubts? Okay, one more problem. I think now we can accelerate a little bit. I think you understood the procedure, what actually we are doing it. Okay. I have not simplified these two values. That is your task to you simplify and you conclude the statement. Okay. So the next one, in a sample of 1,000 people or 1,000 constructions, as you are civil engineering people, right? So in a sample of 1,000 constructions in Tamil Nadu, 540 are using type A cement, and 540 constructions are done using type A cement, and rest using type B cement. Now the question is, can we assume that types are equally popular in the state? %1 level of significance. I hope this problem is related to your study, right? You please read the problem carefully, understand it, and in 1 minute we will try to solve this problem. What is given to us and what it is asked for us. Okay. So one thing, in a sample of 1,000 constructions in Tamil Nadu. Okay, fine. In Tamil Nadu, the state is given. So basically, what is the population? Population is not Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is not the population in our problem. The constructions that happened in Tamil Nadu, that is the population. Okay. And what is the sample? Or what is the sample size? Sample size is 1,000. Assume it is a random sample. It is random sample in the sense the sample is not taken particularly from Chennai, or sample is not taken particularly from Tiruchirappalli. Okay, across it is a representing random sample should be representing the entire state. Okay, so from various cities and various locations, the sample is taken and the data found to be 540 constructions were done using type A cement and rest using type B cement. You may ask, so in entire Tamil Nadu, they are using only 2 types of cement. Okay, it is just a problem. Okay, problem at very basic level. Remember that. Okay, so assume that there are only 2 types of cements, out of which we found that 540 using by type A and remaining means 460 obviously using type B cement. Now can we assume that both the types are equally popular in the state at 1% level of significance? Why to solve this problem? What is the purpose of this problem? Can anyone explain? Can anyone explain in 1 or 2 lines what is the purpose of this problem actually? What is the purpose of solving this problem? Can anyone explain?
So we could get the idea that the sale of cement A and type B cement, how much they are used in Tamil Nadu.
Yeah, that's fine. But what you need? Okay, that's fine, nearby. But that's absolutely fine. But with that statement, what is the help? What is the use of that statement? What is the use of that your conclusion? I will come to know the settings. Okay, with respect to, but how that your conclusion will be helpful and to whom it is helpful?
So it will be helpful to the companies to produce the number of bags of cement as per the requirement.
That's all. Nothing else. That is enough, right? As a so I think everyone can see the use of solving this kind of problems in the practical day-to-day life. Okay. Right. Now, what it is given and what we have to ask, what we have to verify. That is the question. Can we assume that both types are equally popular? Don't forget, equally popular. Remember that. in this state at 1% level of significance. So what is this one? What is the hypothesis given to us? Can we assume that both the types are equally popular? Means what? After all, it is a sample. Remember that it is just a sample. By looking at the sample, 540 type for type A and 460 for type B, don't give the conclusion that both are different, both are not equally possible in the state. It is a out of 1000 only. This is the data. And the entire state we do not know. Okay. Since 560 is not equal to 540 is not equal to 460, don't conclude that it can never be equally possible. Okay. So let me write it here. So what is H naught here? Basically, that we should check here. Both types of cement are equally popular. Equally popular. That is, what is the proportion of population? This can be answered actually in two different ways, but we will try to see this one. What actually it is stating in one way? Equally popular means it is saying that the population proportion is 0.5. Am I right? Using type A cement. This can be answered in two different ways. One is the difference between the two proportions. 540. What is the proportion one? 540 upon 1000, and the other proportion is 460 upon 1000. Okay. Now it can also be answered in a different way, that both types are equally popular in the state. That is what it is given to us. Equally possible. So basically the claim is, the hypothesis is stating that the proportion of using type A cement in this state is assumed to be, it is given as 0.5. Okay, so let me write that statement without the let capital P be the proportion of using type A cement in the population, in the state, in the state, right? So that is given to 0.5. Okay. So the H naught is basically representing the small p is equal to the capital. Okay. Obviously, H1 means against the H naught. So that is small p is not equal to the capital. Small p is not equal to the capital P. Right? So now we need to define what level of significance is given. Level of significance is 1%, that is alpha is equal to 0.01. Level of significance alpha is equal to 0.01. That is we need to evaluate Z alpha. Now at this moment we have to decide whether it is a two-tailed test or one-tailed test. Whether is there any additional information is given to us. Suppose if the additional information is given to us regarding the type A cement and type B cement, then we have to decide whether it is a left tail test or one right tail test. But no additional information is given, and hence anything is possible. Left maybe lesser or maybe bigger. So we have to use the two-tail test. So now for alpha is equal to 0.01, can you give me what is Z alpha from the table? How to get the Z alpha from the table? For 1%, what is the Z alpha? So basically, the probability of mod Z less than or equal to Z alpha is equal to 0.99, right? So that is also same as probability of 0 is less than Z is less than or equal to Z alpha is equal to 0.495. 0.495. Now, for what value of Z alpha we will get this from the statistical table? What is the value? Can you give me the value from the statistical table? 0.495. Where it is? 0.495. 495. Can you give me the value? Zero 0.5, sorry, 2.575. From the table also we can go for it, right? Yeah, okay. 2.58. 2.58 also we can take. So Z alpha is equal to 2.58. So Z alpha value is what? Basically it is 2.58 from the table, right? Now we need to evaluate the calculated table, right? So what is the test statistic? Test statistic Z is equal to small p minus capital P upon square root of capital P times 1 minus capital P upon n. So that is equal to small p is given to be what? Using the type A cement, we are focusing on the type A cement. Okay, type A cement is what? 0.54. Type A cement is what? Yeah, 0.54 minus capital B is 0.5 upon capital P is 0.5. So 1 upon sample size is 1000. Capital P is 0.5 times 1 minus P is again 0.5. Okay. Now you can evaluate this value and give me the value. What is the final value? Calculate this one and give me the value. It is 0.04 upon 0.04 upon 2.58, no, nearby said 2.5298. 2.5298. 2.5298. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, now we need to make the comparison. What is the comparison? The mod Z value is less than mod Z is equal to 2.5298 is less than the table value, statistical value Z alpha, that is 2.58. So the calculated value is less than the statistical value from the statistical table. Hence, what we can, the conclusion is accept H naught. Accepting H naught means what we are concluding? We are concluding that we are concluding that the usage of type A cement and type B cement in this particular state is almost equally popular. With what level of confidence we are saying? We are saying with 99% level of confidence we are saying. Okay, so we are accepting the statement that both the cements are equally popular in the state. Yeah, with 99% level of confidence. Okay. So that you need to write, the conclusion is not written completely. You complete the statement. Okay. Accepting H0. Accepting H0 means there is no significant difference, or one thing is both the types are equally popular. That is one thing. Okay. According to this problem. But as I said again, what you can think of P1 is 540 upon 1000 type A, and type B is P2 is given to be 460 upon 1000, right? This is the proportion 1, this is the proportion 2. Proportion 1 and proportion 2. Now H0 says P1 and P2 are almost equal, means both the type cements are equally possible. There is no significant difference between the usage of P1 and P2 at 1% level of significance. H1 is P1 is not equal to P2, means there is a significant difference between the usage of type A cement and type B cement. Okay, this is the another way that you try to solve. Okay, but here the problem comes. Okay, Z alpha value will be same because the level of significance is same. So but here the problem comes, the test statistic is P1 minus P2 upon the square root of the standard error. But the standard error, we do not know the population proportion. Capital P we do not know, right? If capital P we do not know, then what we have to do? We have to approximate the capital P. So the capital P, that is the population proportion. A capital P, we need to approximate it. How to approximate it? How to approximate it? What is the in what sense we will approximate? Okay. Okay, that I will explain maybe in the next class, in the afternoon class. Then I will leave the entire exercise, entire problem to in this way you do on your own. Okay. So afternoon section and tomorrow section also go in this flow only. But do not expect more problems for each and every method. Okay, for each and every method, we are going to solve only maximum of one problem. That's all. Okay, remaining things you have to practice using from the textbooks. If you have any doubts, you are welcome now. Otherwise, we'll close the section. Thank you all.